Happy Arvo. How you guys doing? Thank you so much for joining me today. I came across this Reddit thread. I thought it sounded fascinating. Okay, because I know you guys in general, Australians, pretty laid back. Pretty cool. Can take some banter, whatever. But what for an assumptions, stereotypes type thing of Australia irks you the most? For me, it has to be Americans doing a horrible Australian accent. No, Americans that they never come to Australia because of the deadly wildlife. I'm going to be honest. If you say that, you're kind of a pansy. Because, really? The wildlife is one of the coolest things about Australia. Because, our 32 animal-related deaths per year is vastly scarier than their 40,000 yearly deaths from guns. Ooh. Damn. That's a pretty good point. Deadliest animal out there is a human with a gun. Although I do have to be honest, I feel like anytime I've heard an American kind of allude to that or say that, I feel like it's kind of in jest. Really, I don't think anyone's not going to Australia because they're afraid of, the animals. Maybe some are. I don't know. That's kind of pathetic. But it's kind of a funny thing to say, I guess. It's like, oh, I don't know. I'm scared to go, the animals. Yeah, it's the deadly wildlife myth that annoys me. I've heard this before, too. This one really does irk a lot of you guys. Most of our dangerous stuff you can whack with your thong. Unlike bears, wolves, cougars, or moose. But the scary thing is, this implies that it's small, it's spiders and stuff. That's kind of what's scary. They can get into your house. They might be in your shoe or your toilet bowl. I don't know. Like I said, the wildlife is one of the coolest aspects about Australia. And the fact that there is indeed a lot of deadly stuff. Now, obviously, I know you don't encounter it on a daily basis or even a weekly or yearly basis, probably. But the fact that it's there is pretty cool. I think that's pretty badass. Every time there's a "you're not in a free country" comment, I feel the need to point out that it's illegal to bring a real Kinder Surprise into America. Oh, the Kinder Surprise eggs. Yeah, that is really stupid, huh? I think that's really stupid. They made some kind of law that you can't put toys inside of a chocolate because it's a choking hazard. So, that is pretty embarrassing. The fact that you can't even have a certain kind of chocolate here in America, the land of the free, you can't have a little toy inside your chocolate egg. Most Americans definitely think of Australia as being a perfectly free country. But I can imagine you read some stupid shit online. The dumbest people say the dumbest things online, so I'm not surprised, Of course, there's some Americans out there, "You're not in a free country. The only free country is this one, America. Our government won't let us have guns." Dude, yes, we can. Okay, so this is actually Australians presumably saying it about themselves. It says, "Our government won't let us have guns." So this isn't really a stereotype. Anyway, dude, yes, we can. Anyone with no criminal record can get a gun license. However, you need to have a reason for having one, such as for hunting or sport, or be part of a gun club. You can't just go out and buy them like candy, and they're too expensive for common thugs. We just can't buy automatic and semi-autos. Well, you can't buy automatic guns here in America either, without a really serious license. But for the most part, you can indeed buy guns, basically like candy, after a quick background check. Or you can even buy it without a background check if you're doing a private sale in some states. But anyway, I think the gun laws in Australia are actually pretty good, It kind of seems like the best of both worlds where, if you're a hunter or whatever, you have access to buy a shotgun or whatever lever action to go hunting with. But you can't just go buy willy-nilly a pistol. That makes sense to me. Emu War. Wait, what? What about the Emu War? I didn't know anything about it until I learned about it on Reddit. Oh, okay. I thought he was going to say it was fake. That better not be fake. What's it like being upside down? That was funny 30 years ago. Well, some people weren't alive 30 years ago, you know? So they're just hearing it for the first time. Or they think they're the first person to come up with it. That would be one of those, like, corny jokes where it's like a question that, what are you even supposed to respond to that? Like, you got to do a fake laugh. The assumption we're all descendants from convicts. Half of us have at least one parent who was born overseas and don't look like my family has been here for 6 generations. Oh, I don't look like my family has been here for 6 generations. Okay. I guess I could see how that one might be offensive if you like took it the wrong way or if someone meant it the wrong way. But in general, that's just another one where I think it's kind of cool. Like, and obviously there's a lot of truth to it, you know. That history with Australia is pretty cool and interesting. So the fact that a lot of you are descended from convicts, I mean, I personally would think that was pretty cool if I was descended from a convict who was sent to frickin' Australia. But that's just me. That we all go around calling each other cunt. I do use it, but only among a group of mates who I know won't get offended, and I would never use it in a professional setting with someone I don't know, and never in public unless it's in front of an appropriate audience. You know, as I'm reading these, it's kind of just funny to me as an American because the stereotypes about Americans are so bad, you know, that we're all like stupid and fat and, you know, everything else. That it's kind of funny that it's like, I don't like it that people think we say cunt. Like, that's the worst thing people have against Australians. Second for the Emu War, I just think the person is a effing NPC moron whenever they say something like, well, you guys lost a war against emus. Clap, 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 most original Seppo. Damn. The one that maddened me the most was Bingo says airport, not airport. It's our language and accent, you fuckwits. Don't act like you don't have one too. That in COVID camps. I actually didn't start reacting to Australia until after COVID, so I'm not sure about like what this is referring to exactly. All the jokes about saying nar instead of no, and that shit get really old really quick. Oh, interesting. Okay. So both of these are about like the accent. So you guys don't appreciate it, or at least some of you don't, when people kind of like poke fun about the accent. I have seen this one a lot, you know, like this is almost like a trend on TikTok about how Australians say nar. I think Americans are particularly fascinated by that because it's genuinely like a really interesting accent, that aspect of it. That, you know, like N-O, somehow you guys add like a subtle R to it. Nar. And it's genuinely like really unique and interesting. And just unexpected, like, where did that R come from? I guess I could see how that would get annoying. I find jokes about a dingo killed my baby are in really poor taste, considering a baby was killed and her mother put through hell for years. What are these jokes? I never heard these jokes. A dingo killed my baby. I heard of that story about how a baby actually was killed. That's terrible. But I've never heard somebody joke about it. That we throw shrimp on the Barbie. Classic. The weird thing about that one is it was started by your own government. All right, I'm not going to lie. This kidney stone, it's crazy what a kidney stone will do if you've never had one. It can cause so much pain in so many different places, but then, like right now, I'm actually not in pain, but all of a sudden, I just feel kind of like uneasy, you know, like kind of sick. So I'm finding it hard to like read and focus at this point. So therefore, I'm done, I guess. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.